Today, let's talk about Buck's tail, howling through the minefield of the way things are. The sun was clawing its way up the sky, spilling gold across the farm's rolling fields, and I, Buck, stood proud on the hill. A German shepherd, young, strong, and master of all I survey and peon. My fur gleamed like a wolf's, because I am the sigma of all wolves. My tail high like a flag, and my howl ripped through the morning, a wild, off-key wail like a coyote with a belly full of bad whiskey trying to sing the blues. This farm's my kingdom, pups, and I roam it by day, letting my wolf self run free, chasing rabbits, staring down bars, Yeties and such, snarlin at shadows, and marking every fence post as mine. By night, I curl up in my kennel in the man's house, more like a throne, actually, where only the worthy may approach, which is usually anybody that gives me food. I warm with my pack, his family, my family. Protect and serve, that's my code. Just like a man's all-business heart, tough as rawhide, but meltin for his kids' giggles and his woman's smile. Or don't tell a soul, a juicy steak. Me, I'm mean-looking, built to scare every two-legged stranger crossing my land, but for family, especially them kids. I am that big old softy rolling over for belly rubs, tail wagging for a treat or a scratch behind the ears when they're around. Yeah, I can be bought, and I ain't ashamed to admit it. Today is a special day, though. Pups, my imaginary litter, or the man's kids, listening to old Buck howl a tale for you. I'm taking you on a grand adventure through the minefield of life, teaching you to be dogs of honor, brave, true, and ready to sacrifice. Like the heroes in them moving pictures a man watches by lamplight, over and over again, I see him across the living room. Tales of men like Maximus, Wallace, Shane, and that ornery Walt Kowalski, stumbling but standing tall. They're my map, pups, for navigating this farm and guiding you through the minefield, where one wrong step, pride, fear, chasing the wrong scent, can blow you to bits. But step right, and you're howling towards doghood. So huddle up, my pack, and listen to Buck, master of the fields, far-ranging forests and streams, as I roam and teach you to conquer, to love and sacrifice, even if my howl's a bit off-key. I start at dawn, paws hitting the dirt, surveying my domain. The farm road stretches out, a dusty scar where vehicles, my sworn enemies, rattle through, kicking up gravel and mocking my rule. I bare my teeth, fur bristling like a storm cloud, 'cause every truck's a threat, lest the door swings open and the man hollers, "Buck, in!" Then I'm leaping in, tail wagging, riding shotgun like a boss. A shot caller zaps me if I stray past the perimeter. Ow! Stings like a bee in the butt. But I wouldn't leave this pack, not for all the wilds of Yellowstone. The man's my mirror. I'm teaching his voice, you might notice. All business, eyes sharp as a hawk's, but he'll drop his guard for a kid's hug or a good meal. Just like I'm a fool for a bone. We're tough, but soft where it counts. And that's the first lesson, pups. The first challenge, conquering the intruder. Mornin. Trouble rolls in, a fancy car, sleek as a city fox. Creeping down the farm road, a stranger stepping out, suit crisp, smelling of cologne and trouble, aiming to sell the man some nonsense about modernizing the farm. I charge, barking like it's thunder, mean and tough, my growl rattling his bones. He freezes, eyes wide as a rabbit's, and I think, that's right, city boy, Buck's the king here. Protect and serve, pups. That's conquering, the first mark of doghood. It's like Maximus in Gladiator, Russell Crowe with eyes like a storm, losing his family but fighting in the arena for their memory and his freedom. He's conquering not just gladiators, but his own rage, channeling pain into purpose. Flawed? Hell, he mopes in them wheat fields like I sulk when a man skips my treats. But that's why he's ours. Or Braveheart, William Wallace, screaming freedom like he's got no off switch, fighting for Scotland, reckless. Sure, he charges like I do at that tractor, messy but bold. And there's Saving Private Ryan, Captain Miller, hands shaking like my tail when it's smelling bacon, leading his men through war's hell for one soul. He conquers fear, pups, and that's the deal. Fight your fight, keep it righteous, and guard your pack. What would you die for? For me, it's this farm, this family, my hill to defend. The stranger scurries back to his car, tires spinning as he flees. I let out a howl, wild and off-key, like a wolf trying to sing Sweet Home Alabama and scaring the crows. The man gave me a nod, tossing me a treat. Bought again, but damn, it sure feels good. Second challenge, loving with a steady paw. By noon, I was trotting through the orchard where man's kid laughing like a pack of wolf pups. Strangers see my teeth and run. But these kids, they climb all over me, tugging my ears, and I'm rolling over, belly up, soaking up their giggles like a sponge. I'm fierce, sure. But for family, I'm a pushover bought with a scratch or a biscuit. That's the second lesson. Loving right, with a steady paw, not chasing every cent till it drifts by. Look at Unforgiven, William Money, Clint Eastwood with a face like old leather. Ain't out to charm nobody, but his loyalty to his gone wife and his friend Ned, that's his pull. Stronger than any slick bark. Flawed, the mud that I roll over in after a rain, but he's trying to do better, and that draws you in. Or Reacher, Jack Reacher, a walking mountain, strolls in the town, fixes trouble, and leaves gals swooning with a ma'am and a half smile. His charm's like my howl, rough but simple. But it hits, And don't sleep on the last of the Mohicans. Hawkeye dodging bullets to save Cora, his love fierce as my growl when a coyote's near. His "I'll find you" could make a fence post blush. Lovin' means respect, pups, not games, even if you're a sucker for a scratch like me. One of the kids, the little own my heart, so adorable, dropped her doll in the creek, crying like her world was ending. I plunged in, fur-soaked, and fished it out, dropping it at her feet. She hugged me, calling me her hero. My tail wagged hard enough to start a windstorm. What would you die for? For these kids, I'd face 100 creeks, 1,000 zaps of that damn collar. That's love, pups. Steady, true, and worth the hit. The third challenge: sacrifice against the wild pack. Come evening, the real tests come. Mangy, snarlin curs with eyes like coal slink onto the farm, eyeing the man's livestock. I could have stayed safe, curled up with a bone by the barn, but protect and serve ain't just words. I charge, teeth bared, fur flying, taking a nip to my flank but driving 'em off, their yowls fading into the dusk. Blood drips from my hide, but I stand tall knowing the herd's safe. That's a sacrifice, pups. The third lesson: giving up what you want for what's right, even if it tears you up. Think of Shane, Howlin lad's gunslinger, saves the family, shuns the woman who loves him against his natural impulses to take her, mind you. Then he rides off, knowing he's too dangerous to stay. His past's bloodier than my fur after a briar patch, but he sacrifices for peace. Or the man who shot Liberty Valance, John Wayne's Tom Doniphan, drops the bad guy, lets another take the credit, and loses the girl 'cause it's right. Then there's Gran Torino, Walt Kowalski, a cranky old dog spitting venom, lays down his life for neighbors. Tough to miss the symbolism when Walt falls dead on his back, arms flung wide, no weapon in his hands, but forming the shape of the cross. Flawed? He's a bigot till he learns better. But that growth is sacrifice. Pale Rider's preacher, High Noon's marshal, Master and Commander's Captain Aubrey, they all give up something for duty, like I gave up my hide to save the herd. As the moon rises, I limp back to the porch, bloodied but proud. My howl a soulful off-key wail, like I'm trying to sing a soulful tune and scaring the owls. The man kneels, scratching my ears, calling me a good boy. Damn right, I'm bought, and I earned it. What would you die for? For this pack, this land, I'd take 100 nips, face 1,000 curs, overcome all the predatory critters that damn wonder-filled forest is filled with. The final challenge, the night's reflection. Night falls and I ain't done. A rustle in the woods caught my ear. A lone coyote, starving and desperate, skulking near the chicken coop. I could have let it slide. The man's got guns for that. Protect and serve, that's my mantra. Means no slack, not even when you're bone tired. I stalk into the dark, eyes glowing, and let out a growl that'd make a bear rethink its life choices. The coyote bolted, tail tucked, and I stood guard till dawn, my howl echoing like the battle hymn gone wild. That's doghood, pups. Standing firm, even when you're battered, 'cause it's your hill, and your hill's worth it. I think of you, pups, my pack, and them movie men the man watches. Why do Maximus, Money, Shane, Wallace, Aubrey grab you by the throat? 'Cause they're like me, banged up, carrying regrets like I carry ticks after a romp. They conquer, love, and sacrifice, flaws deep as a canyon. Maximus fights for honor despite moping like a wet pup. Wallace roars for freedom, reckless as me chasing a truck. Money seeks redemption, past a past darker than a storm cloud. Shane and Kowalski give it all for others, like I guard this farm. What would you die for? Family, like the man's kids I protect. Faith, God, the ultimate master who blinked us all into existence. Freedom, like the open fields I never would ever trade. You gotta find your hill, pups, and be ready to bleed for it. Jail, shame, or torn up hide. The dawn of doghood. As dawn breaks, I curl up in my kennel, the man's house warm around me, my howl a proud, wobbly riff, like a wolf's battle hymn. The farm's safe, my pack is secure, and I face the minefield. Strangers, kids, wild dogs, coyotes, and all those giant creatures, bears and such, that didn't dare show themselves from the shadows of the forest, lest they have to face me. And I stood tall. The man tosses me a bone, his eyes saying what words don't. We're mirrors, him and me, tough but soft, all business but suckers for love. I thought of you, pups, learning to navigate your own minefield. Pride'll trip you, fear'll claw, but ask yourself, what would you die for? Family, like these kids I guard. Faith, like the man's prayers I hear through the walls. Freedom, like the lands I rule. Test your beliefs, pups, till they're yours, forged in a fire like my scars from that wild pack. Them movie men, Maximus, Money, Shane, Wallace, Aubrey, Reacher, Hawkeye, they're your map, pups, showing you how to conquer, how to love and sacrifice, and all the best of their ways. When they show Christ in them, they stumble, bleed, but stand tall, like me after a fight. High noon's marshal faces a gang alone. Private Ryan's Miller saves one soul through hell. Master and Commander's Aubrey risks his friendship for duty. They're dogs of honor, flaws and all, howling in their tune, even if it's off key like mine. I stretch out, fur still damp, and let out a final twangy howl, echoing like a wolf's farewell under the stars. All right, pups, what's your hill? What would you die for? Faith, family, freedom? Watch these films again, sit with them, feel their weight, then go face your own minefield. Tail high, heart clear, live with purpose, meaning, and be dogs of truth And if you hear my howl, don't laugh. I'm trying just like you. See you on the trail.